Who's down first?
Can we start with injuries? Can we start with injuries and Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron's good. Got the all clear from the hospital last night. He came back last night and had tea here. He's got stiff and sore in the neck. We monitored him over the next few days to see whether he's going to be right to play next weekend, but the hospital's very happy with it. Malakai's got obviously a big cut in his head and a sore knee, so again we'll just assess him during the week. Got old friend here. And Bowden Barrett's come down with the flu overnight, so as a precaution he'll just stay here in bed and come down tomorrow. Other than that, everyone's good.
If Aaron is ruled out, Steve, with his injury, how difficult is the debate going to be in terms of you starting first five next week?
Oh no, I don't think it'll be too difficult. I think the bloke that came on last night did a pretty good job. Got a good backup and Lima coming off the bench if we do it that way, or we can go the other way, put Lima in to start. So Bowden probably deserves to get the opportunity.
Does Lima have the utility value that you like, the guy wearing your 22 jersey?
No, not as much as Bowden, but Bowden can drop back to fullback if we need him to. So Lima can just, we've still got that utility value there with Bowden on the park.
So Damien McKenzie, likelihood of any kind of involvement?
Hard to say at this stage. We said at the start of the campaign, he's likely he probably wouldn't get too much.
So what's your thinking now that you've won the series? Is it an opportunity now open for others, or do you think to stamp
Well, you
your
have to wait
authority?
till Thursday. Like, there's no point asking me questions about the selection of the team. You guys have been around long enough to know that I'm not going to tell you. There's no point telling Gats what the team is on Sunday, so he can prepare for it. He'll have to play the guessing game like you guys. So we're better off just talking about how the rugby went and leave the selections till Thursday.
Coming out of the World Cup and starting a new campaign, are you happy where you're kicking off your 4 years?
Yeah, pretty much. I think, you know, like, to lose 800 caps is a massive amount of experience, and we're trucking along pretty good, I think. 2 good wins early in the season, and whilst they're not perfect, and yes, there's a lot of improvement to be made. There's some real good composure. I scored 5 tries last night, which is anyone that scores 5 tries in a test match has got to be happy with that. We let in a couple of soft ones though, so we'll work away at that. But steadily, as we go through this series, you know, I should expect we will just continue to improve.
Steve, presumably you'd like to see some of that composure and patience kick in a little bit earlier in Dunedin rather than waiting, or see it kick in a bit later than it has been.
Yeah, look, when you look at the first half, we were pretty much in control of it, and then in the last 15 minutes, I think you've got to give Wales the credit, they threw the kitchen sink at us, and we got out of trouble, and then immediately released the pressure valve by giving it back to them. I think there was one case here they kicked the ball, we kicked it back, Bowden, we scrambled, or Bowden got back, or it might have been Aaron, I can't remember which one it was, but they kicked it back straight back and ended up scoring off the counter. So it's little things like that. We just got to learn to look after the football a bit better when we're under pressure. So that composure's the area we've got to work on. That makes sense.
Wales' last game of the season for them, last game of the tour. How much do you think they've got left in the tank for the league?
It's interesting. Like, everyone talks about how much they've got left in the tank. It's no different for us when we go up to the Northern Hemisphere. Like, I don't even hear that as being an excuse for us, and I don't think Wales will be thinking it's an excuse for them. They'll believe they've got plenty in the tank, and who gets last night say that we got our tries off turnover the ball, and so if they can stop that, then they can win the game. So they still believe they can win, and that's great for the Test series.
Steve, how happy were you with the transfer from attack to defence, defensive attack last night when they scored one more try than last week?
Yeah, it was a lot better. We were a lot sharper, and I think, and like the last try they scored, we defended for about, what seemed like 15 minutes, it was more like 3 or 4. And we drove them from inside our 22 back to over halfway, and then one of the guys made a mistake, and you know, they were good enough to capitalise on it. So, no, I think where we're at the moment is thinking quicker, thinking faster, and we certainly did that a lot better than we did the week before.
Steve, last night when you had a couple of big injuries, obviously, what one of those injuries made you the most, not nervous as such, but sort of made you go, when you knew that you had Bodie and the backup and another guy sort of coming off? But which one was more sort of nerve-wracking for you?
Oh, you don't get nerve-wracked because of the injury. Like obviously Crude's one was pretty serious, so you're worried about him, but you're in the moment, so you're dealing with the issue that you've got. So who's going on? He's on, okay, good. And then what do we get another one? You're starting to think about the what ifs. What do we get another one? We've used all our reserves in the backs. Where's TJ going to go? And so we would already send a message that he'd be covering wing first 5 and half back. That's all we, you know, and Bender would have gone into the midfield. So having those things sorted before, actually, you may not need them, but if you do need them, that's where your mind goes. And what loose forwards have we got on there? Artie, if one had happened earlier, Artie could have possibly gone on. Had enough pace to play in the back. So.
Do you think Artie's success will have an impact on his growth?
Probably not. No. I think his brother's had enough of his own success over time, and you know, the formula we're using with Artie at the moment, with Julian at the moment, is no different than what we've done with other athletes when we've seen them succumb to the pressure of being an All Black, and just giving them a bit of time out from the game freshens them up, and you know, I'm sure Julian will get an opportunity pretty soon, and when he does, either for us or the Hurricanes, he'll deliver.
Steve, have you been pleasantly surprised with the way Artie's come on and performed on the big stage?
I've been happy about the way he's performed. I haven't been surprised by it. Like, he's been one of the standouts in Super Rugby, and don't forget, we took him away, I think 2 years or 3 years ago as an apprentice, because he was one of those guys that was always going to be an All Black. It was just a matter of when. And giving him that tour where he was never going to be selected, he knew that right from the beginning. He was just there, he wasn't an All Black, he was just there touring with us as a young guy. He got the feel of what it's like to be here, and he got to spend some time with Nick Gill, who I think is world class at what he does. And you know, he's a big man now, and he's developed and he's matured, and you know, he's a pretty special player.
Where are you feeling now? I mean, challenging 2016 after the World Cup, you've now won the series. Are you happy with how everything's developed and the gaps have been filled?
No, I don't think we've filled all the gaps yet. It's too early to say that after 2 tests. We've got to fit Sonny back in when he comes back, and there may be some other Sevens players that we're looking at when they come back too. So whether they fit, if they fit at all. Charlie Nartai hasn't played any football because of his injury, so you know, we'll wait for him to come right, and then what are we going to do with him? He's a pretty special player too. So you know, midfield we're still working away quietly at. Having said that, we can tick some spots as well, because they've done pretty well.
Steve, what will you be working on for Dunedin from this week?
Just all overall improvement again, right across the park, trying to get our set piece even better, which I was really pleased with, by the way, on the weekend. I thought the scrum was great. Line out put pressure on the Welsh, and we got 2 turnover line-outs and scored off both of them. And then again, our defence, you know, working our combination, staying connected so we don't give up the tries we give, and just keeping the foot on the throat for longer periods, and not allowing them to escape from the pressure we're trying to put on them.
Tactical change though by Gatlin last night by bringing on his bench up a lot later than last week. were you stucky with yours early in the first, second half?
Yeah,
They-
and that's you know, that's the coach's prerogative, isn't it? Like if you go early, can they last the 40 minutes? You go late, and it might be too late. We just felt that if we injected some people in early, and they had some of their guys who'd worked really hard in that first half still out there, then we might be up against some tired legs. And our normal injection of the backs obviously got disrupted with putting the 2 guys on pretty early in the game, so yeah, it makes it difficult to inject something when they're in, come on early.
Sorry, Steve, can you update Charlie? Any chance of him being involved this week at all?
Well, he's getting better, but even if he was 100% clear in his head, he hasn't played for, hasn't trained, so he's deconditioned. We'd have to recondition him back into rugby mode, and that's 2 or 3 weeks. Well, a couple of weeks anyway. And it looks like the Chiefs will take that over.
Can I just get a quick thought from you, Steve, on what's happening across the Tasman, that series? Are England sort of making big strides, do you think, under Jones, or are the Aussies at a bit of a COVID?
Well, they're winning, so you know, they're pretty happy. Jones is pretty happy. They're killing us. And Andy thinks both Australia and England can beat the All Blacks, so so it must be going good, yeah.
Do you have a theory though? I mean, Ireland just about knocked the box over again. Are the sort of the northern countries making some progress here?
Oh, look, I just think it's difficult, isn't it? Like, it's a difficult time of the year, Jim, because after a World Cup, there's a lot of change, and you know, the 3 Northern Hemisphere teams came out of that World Cup, I'd say, pretty frustrated, you know, particularly England and Ireland for that matter, because they've been humming along pretty good. So this is an opportunity for them to make a statement, and both teams are making it. And Wales have done, I think, you know, really contributed to this Test series. They've played some great rugby, and just haven't had you know, the ability to finish it off. So if there's a change in the guard, then that's great, I reckon. I think that the more teams we have that are competitive, the better it is for the game and the people that are playing it and involved in it. So there's a different attitude to the England team. They've obviously been hurt incredibly by what happened in the World Cup, and Eddie's driving that pretty strong and getting a response. You know, in Australia, it's been an interesting battle watching the Jones-Checker battle. Like, Checker's not come back, he's let Eddie have a free rein, and to the point where it seems like he's actually allowed, you know, Eddie to bully him in an idiot. I don't know if that's because they know each other that well that there's a pecking order from the old days, I don't know, but you know, that's gone on to the park, isn't it? But, you know, they've certainly improved. And Aussie aren't any mates, I don't think they're a good side. So.
Steve, just quickly, Izzy Dagg's try last night, what did that mean to the team, the mana, the feeling amongst the players and you guys in the coaching, just to see him cross the line after all the battles he's been through?
Oh, it's pleasing for him, yeah. Like, both he and Bender both got tries, which was nice on their 50th. So, yeah, Izzy's shown a bit of character, hasn't he? Could have easily packed up his bags and headed overseas for the money, but he chose not to, and you know, last night probably was a reward for that. You know, he's come back and played well, and he's played his 50th test cap, so when he sits on his grandchildren on his knee in years to come, he'll be able to tell them he played 50 games for the All Blacks. Most of them pretty good too.
Steve, do you think Eddie could end up as Lions coach?
Don't know.
I'd be interested.
Who the coach is, they're going to be pretty good.
So well done. Excellent on that, mate. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone. See you in Dunedin.